What's up, YouTube? We are here again with another episode of Consistency. Today, this is episode 9.5. I will explain why it's 9.5 in just a moment. As you can see, I'm here by myself. Unfortunately, Frank had some family matters to attend to, so he will not be with us today. So continue to keep him in your prayers. Um, our next episode with Frank will be the end of the consistency series. So that will be episode 10. And we're just ending it so we can kind of open up room for to do different forms of content in the future. So yeah, we'll still be um, doing content together. I'll still be doing content on my own as well. But yeah, just to kind of break out of the consistency. I was originally we were gonna name this podcast show whatever consistency, but I think we've reached the point where we've driven home what we were trying to talk about. I think we've had some really good conversations over the past few months pertaining to consistency and just different conversations that we've had. But I do want to use this time to kind of explain what I envision for this channel and what I envision for this platform. Um, I don't consider myself to be an expert in anything that any of the topics that we talk about here. Um, Although I may study some things more than most, I wouldn't consider myself um, an expert. And the true purpose of this platform is um, to kind of being open to being wrong and learning from that. So, I'm here to, I'm perfectly okay with making mistakes, and I want people to correct me when I'm wrong. Also, teach me if I'm ignorant in an area. Like, I want this to be a place that I can grow, and I want hopefully you to grow as well with me as a viewer. I do want to say thank you to everyone who has been with us so far through this journey, and I'm hoping that you will enjoy the content that we have coming in the future. I don't really have too much of a structured show today. I'm actually on a little later because I was contemplating if I was going to do this, but consistently I haven't missed more than taking over um 2 weeks of a break. So I never missed 2 weeks in a row. I normally take 1 week off. Sometimes I doubled up. So yeah, I just wanted to keep that theme. And with our me and Frank's final episode gonna be episode 10, I thought it was appropriate to call this episode 9.5. Let's see, I did have a couple of notes. There was a lot of things that I did want to talk about today. There were my one of my favorite rappers, Absol. He did make a comment on the Kendrick and Drake beef, but I think I would rather actually have a discussion about that with somebody. And I feel like that was the main reason why it's been so great having Frank here, or some of the people who I've interviewed, Chris and Nigel. Um, I like the idea of having a conversation instead of me just kind of talking off the top of my head or having certain things to reference. To what I did want to talk about is just, and this is, I think this is going to be a really quick stream, but I wanted to just talk about levels of thinking. Um, so on this channel, I want people to be able to think on a different level than they're accustomed to, more than your day to day level of thinking. I wanted to show a video actually. I was watching a video of a guy talking about the different levels of thinking, and he went from level 1 to level 6. Actually, if I can bring that up, then I might not play the video, but I can probably just show in the background the levels of thinking because I don't have it memorized per se. But yeah, levels 1 through 6, I think level 1 was like memorization in a way, or remembering. But I'm trying to, I don't want to just go off at the top of my head. So let me at least pull it up here. Should have done. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, 6 levels of thinking right here. Okay. Let me see if I could just get a picture where he had all of the levels highlighted. Okay, so let me share this screen real quick. Okay, yeah, so there's these different levels of thinking right here. First level was remember, and with every level of thinking comes a level of understanding. So I think it would be appropriate when we're talking, we want to be kind of in level 3 and 4 moving forward as well. So um, the first level, this guy, and I'll leave the link to this video in the description, but this guy was talking about level 1 is just remembering. So he was talking about students originally, but I think it applies to anytime that you're trying to learn something or just trying to get a better understanding of anything, whether it's a new skill or whether you're actually studying. So he was saying level 1, you read to remember something. So you're reading a book and you're trying to memorize long enough to take a test, let's say. The second level is where you're reading something and you may reread it in order to make sure that you have a firm understanding of it. Then once we get to level 3 is now we're using that level of understanding that we have in order to apply it to a problem, or probably just apply it to a problem. It may not be it could be a synthesized problem. So maybe you're just thinking of hypothetical problems that it might apply to, but you are still taking what you've learned and trying to make it of practical use. Um, then the fourth level is analyze, and that's I'm not saying that I'm on level 4, but I think with some of the topics that I go a little deeper in, I think that's kind of the level of thinking that I engage in. Level 4, level 5, and level 6 are pretty high up there when you're evaluating and then creating. Um, I have, like I said, I'll leave the description. Basically, level 6 is when you start to hypothesize different, based off of what you've learned, you start to make a hypothesis, and now you are testing the knowledge that you have against the real world and can hopefully form new well new ways, not new ways of thinking, but or maybe new ways of thinking about a certain topic or subject. So, and I think that's a part of a place where people get to, and then that's where things start to get a little funny. So I think that I was debating on if I was going to talk about Kanye West, because I do want to. I think that would be a lot more an in-depth video or a longer video, and I'm really kind of freestyling right now, so I don't want to just ramble. But I think when we're talking about someone like Kanye, who's very polarizing, and depending on where you stand, he's either a genius or a complete idiot. So, but I think that more comes from his willingness to take risks and hypothesize about some things. Like, I think for a long time, people came up and they used to call him a genius more than an idiot. But I think he kind of got to a point where he just started trying to hypothesize, and like I said, I think that comes with your willingness to be wrong about some things. And I'm not saying that he thinks that he's wrong, or because there's certain things that I agree with Kanye on, and there's certain things that I don't agree with him on. Um, I'm a fan of Kanye because of his mastery in music. I look at anyone who's able to master anything, and I have a level of respect for them. And I give them some leniency in their ideas, because if you're able to reach a level of mastery in one aspect of your life, then I think that you can take how you did that and apply it to other facets of your life. So that's kind of something that I've learned, like watching animes and um, different self-help books. Just the more that you once you learn how to master one thing, then you kind of have a framework for how to get things done. If you ask me what his best project was, I would say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And I say that because to me, that was one of my first introductions to something that I considered like sonically perfect. Like, there wasn't, like, I think he hit everything that I would have thought was even possible at the age I was. Um, and someone else who falls into this category of who's also pretty controversial is Kyrie Irving. I think that he's a true master when it comes to basketball. And if you look at just how meticulous he is when it comes to finishing, like his layups and stuff, and just his dribbling, that's kind of what I look for in art, like art in general. That's the basis that I'm looking for. And so, not to, I don't want to get into a rant on that. I mean, I can probably elaborate further with Frank, or possibly write out some of my thoughts in the future, and try and do like a video essay. That's one of the types of contents that I would like to or one type of content that I would like to do in the future, like some video essays, have some demonstrations for people. um yeah, I think that's probably where I'll end this episode. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna drag it on too long. I did want to. I'll just say thank you, everyone who's been supporting me, who's given me feedback on um, the shows, told me how much you like it, things I can improve on. Um, Still looking for any type of feedback that you can provide. Thank you so much for rocking with me to this point, and like I said, I have more coming in the future. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.